Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we are back with another Topical Tuesday video, this time with a Classics Revisited. If you've seen the title, you know what we're talking about today. It is none other than Eagle Rare.
The Rare Eagle.
Now, there's a lot of stuff to talk about with this, and we're going to get into it. Leave your opinions on Eagle Rare down in the comments below, and we will check those out. We read every comment. We try to react to every comment and reply to the ones that warrant that. But yeah, this is a Buffalo Trace product. I know it's hard to find in some markets, in most markets. In our market, it's hard to find.
There are some markets where it's not hard to find.
Right.
I feel like it might be an extreme one way or the other in most markets.
Yeah, it is. And this is a product we wanted to cover because there's a lot to talk about, because it's hard to find and because in some markets it does get marked up. But it is a classic bourbon. Matter of fact, my history with this goes way back. Way back to like over 10 years ago when I would just buy this as one of the bourbons that I used to drink. Stopped drinking Eagle Rare for a while, went back to revisit it. Turns out it was nowhere to be found. Buffalo Trace mania had happened at that point, but this is their 90 proof 10-year-old bourbon that's from mash bill number 1 from Buffalo Trace, which is their low rye mash bill.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean a whole lot because they don't tell you what the percentages are, and I don't get hung up in mash bills anyways. But we will go ahead and nose and taste this thing. We'll tell you what we think about it. It's been in quite a few blind head-to-heads for us. So I would recommend going and looking at those if you want to see how it has fared and what we think about it in a double-blind format. It's a lot of fun. But we also want to talk about it in the context of what it is right here on the channel. And as Erin gets into the nose on this, I'll let you know. You can check the video description below for a link to our Patreon. That's where we have our online community. People can help each other find things, exchange samples, all that good stuff over on Discord. We also have our barrel picks that release through Patreon. That's how you can get some of the things that we have picked. And yeah, ton of fun over there. We also have a link to our merchandise, our apparel. We have glassware coming soon, all that good stuff over at stuffandwhiskey.com. What do you think about the nose of Eagle Rare?
So my first instinct was it was pretty sweet smelling. Then it also got like a tinge of stinky feet, which I like.
And if you're new here, by the way, her stinky feet and our stinky feet are not the same.
There's like it's like a sweet sourness maybe.
You know, I've thought about this because I think sometimes like some of my favorite, I love Mexican food, some of my favorite Mexican restaurants, like the way the spices go, it's like borderline like BO, but it smells good.
Yeah. It's like,
I think that's
what my stinky feet is. It's like a sweet sourness almost.
Yeah.
Not like sweet and sour, but a sweet sourness. And then my third, like nosing, I got some popsicle sticks. So sweet, stinky feet popsicle sticks.
To me, this is classic Buffalo Trace in one of the best products that they make as far as I'm concerned. It's my favorite low proof product that they make. Probably everything 100 proof and under. This is my favorite.
Oh, interesting.
You know, for $40 or so, about what it should run, $35, $40. It's a great buy for that. The nose, I always get those strawberry grape nerds. That's what I get. And just the way the 10 years of oak are in this thing isn't super predominant. It's very sweet oak that blends in with those kind of sugary candy notes really well. A lot of people say they get grape on this. I could kind of see that, like grape Kool-Aid.
I can see grape Kool-Aid, like an artificial grape.
Yeah.
Can we drink it?
Like artificial grape, yeah. Let's get into it. Cheers.
I think you put strawberry grape nerds in my head, and that's what I taste.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it is very candy sweet forward.
Even the aftertaste is kind of like like the nerds aftertaste.
Yeah, it definitely has that, and I think that's why this is kind of a crowd favorite, is because it is very sweet, but the oak that is there kind of tempers the sweetness a little bit.
Yeah,
and doesn't make it too saccharine sweet.
Correct, and there's a little bit of spice there. Not so, it doesn't linger, but the's a little bit of like this. That's what it's doing. It's like doing this.
That was also our first sip of the day, so let's get another one in.
I'm just saying, it's a nice spice. It's not a lot of spice.
It's a gentle
very
spice.
Gentle it's just
spice. Yeah, this implies aggressiveness to me. Like
no,
it's
just like
top.
a little bit. It's like, see, I'm doing little.
Oh, it's more like a little sprinkle of spice.
It's like a little spice.
Okay.
Not like rare.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, another sip.
I got more oak coming through in the second sip.
So
it was a little drier, but still sweet.
Yeah, the way the oak comes through on this, I honestly think this is like the perfect American whiskey equivalent to like a good kind of 86, 92 proof
Yeah.
43 to 46% ABV, 12-year Scotch.
And I think I'm always impressed with this being 90 proof.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it drinks about 100 proof.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. I feel like the nose is way more predominant than the flavor profile is, but I think the flavor profile is pretty easygoing. It's not the most complex thing in the world, but it does have some nice complexity for a 90 proofer. At $40, I think this kind of, again, those like 12-year intro scotches that are like, you know, your Glenlivet or Glenmorangie or, you know, Glenfiddich, 12 years that are kind of in that $40 to $60 range. I think this is like the American version of those. And I've often said that Eagle Rare, it's a shame that it's hard to find in a lot of markets because I think I call this like an ambassador bourbon.
Interesting.
Like Eagle Rare to me is kind of like the ambassador bourbon to give people who are into other whiskeys so they can see what bourbon can do around 90 proof. And it also can just get people into bourbon who aren't into any sipping spirits whatsoever. So in all those ways, I think it is a very good product.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we're heaping a lot of praise on it. It's not something we reach for all that often ourselves.
Well, yeah, it's not.
Probably because it's hard to find.
It's hard to find, but also I wouldn't pay astronomical prices for it.
And that's what I'll get into, yeah.
It's a good whiskey at retail, maybe even slightly higher than retail if this is like your kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't pay a ton of money for it.
I would say at $35 to $40 is what it should be at retail. I would always keep a bottle around.
Yeah, I would go up to 50, but that's probably my limit for something like this.
At 50, I would still keep a bottle around. If it went to 60, I'm going to be a lot more sparing with whether I'm going to buy this or not.
Yeah.
And I'm out over 60.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's worth that. There's other things I would rather buy, personally speaking. You know, a lot of people say when it comes to Kentucky bourbon, $10 per year of aging, and this is a 10-year bourbon. I think a lot of shops out there do mark it up to $100 when they're really trying to price gouge. Like it lands in that $60 to $100 range. And if you've never had it, I wouldn't pay that for a bottle of it, to be honest with you.
I would try it before you spend that much money on something just to make sure you like it.
Yeah, go find a bar somewhere or a restaurant that has like $10 or $15 pours of this and try it before you go out and spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
Because you can get Russell's Reserve 10-year for $35 or $40. You can get Bullet 10-year for $35 or $40. Like there are other bourbons out there with age. Even regular old Buffalo Trace is a blend that's about 8 years old. So you're not getting all that much more age in this product.
Yeah.
But I mean, I am a fan of Eagle Rare.
I am too. I like it. I would recommend it if you can get it.
I've long said that Eagle Rare and Stag Junior are my two favorite Buffalo Trace products, and I really don't care about too much else that they make, personally speaking, other than the antique collection, which I never see anyways. But those are my two products that I actually like from Buffalo Trace and would buy all the time if they were on shelves all the time. Unfortunately, they're not for us, but if they are for you, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing to consider how much you would pay for Eagle Rare to keep it around, to keep a bottle on hand, and let us know that in the comments below. If you like us revisiting these classics, this one we can definitely recommend. You can find some of the other ones on our past episodes. Some of those have been recommended. Some of those have not been recommended.
Do we have a playlist of them?
No, we don't. No. I should do that. She's
do
creating
that.
more work for me.
Let's make a playlist of all of our classics revisited.
Okay.
We're going to do that. So check out the playlist, the Classics Revisited playlist, if you want to see our other Classic Revisited episodes.
There's Knob Creek 9-year. There's Four Roses Small Batch. There's
They'll see when they check out the playlist.
Okay. There's some other stuff in there. But check out all of our videos. They're on there. Check out our Patreon if you want. Hit that bell down there if you want to be notified when we go live. We do that once a month. We would love for you to join us for a pour.
Yep.
And I think that's about it for this one.
That's it for today. Be good to each other. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.